Hey, Steve Stine here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today what I want to do is talk to you about how important the Spark amp is for me in my morning routine. So let me tell you something. When I first get up in the morning and start rolling, the first thing I need, number one, is coffee. The second thing that I need is I need to check the temperature because I live in North Dakota, so it might either be 100 degrees out or it might be minus 60 degrees outside. You never know. And then the third thing I do is I grab my Spark amp and I start practicing. What I want to talk to you about are the three things that I tend to use the Spark amp the most for a daily routine of practice. So when I first wake up in the morning, and I get started, and I know everybody can't practice in the morning. Sometimes you practice right after work or after school or something like that. But what I find is, and especially the older I get, it seems like when I first grab the guitar for the day, I sometimes wonder if I've forgotten how to play because things just don't seem to function the way that they probably used to 20 years ago. And so what I like to do is I like to do a daily routine of practice. And it's not just rudimentary, and that's what I want to show you. So there's three things. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to the screen here of my iPad, and I want to show you this. So for instance, first thing that I do is I find a tone that I like. So I might go out to the tone cloud here and grab a sound that I like, whatever it might be. Take a look at something. Let's load this one up. Now you're only listening to the amplifier through the speaker that I'm running on my camera here. So don't really worry about that. But I could find a tone out here. There's obviously just a ton of different tones, and some of my tones are out here as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up this one here, the Steve Stine Crunch within my app. Just because it's the right volume and it's kind of what I'm looking for. But whenever I practice in the mornings, one of the most important things is that I find a tone that I'm in the mood for. And usually, because I'm running a little bit slow, I'm not looking for something really speedy. I'm just looking for something kind of soulful. Okay, so then the first thing that I do once I've dialed in that tone is I go to my metronome. And then I can set this metronome to whatever I want. Let's just start at 115 to get started. So the first thing that I usually do is I'll just start by rolling through some four-finger stuff like this. Now, if you've never done that before, all I'm doing is I'm playing, and I'm just playing 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way through the first string, and then I move over and I go backwards. And as I'm doing this, what I'm focusing on is that each note that I'm playing is clear and the attack is even, right? So as I'm playing, I want to make sure that my second, third, and fourth strings are just as loud as my first, or fingers, excuse me, are just as loud as my first finger as I play, and that all the notes are clear. So the tempo is whatever works for you. But that's the great thing is I set the tempo, and I know I can go faster than 115, but this is a great tempo to start off with when I first grab the guitar and I start trying to practice. So that's one thing I'll do. The next thing I'll do is usually at that same tempo, I'll start doing some little pentatonic things or whatever it might be like this. I might go... Okay, again, just working on synchronicity and all that sort of thing, trying to get both my hands to understand what the heck I'm doing for the day. Just basic things like that. I'll use the metronome for that. Then what I'll do is I'll move on and I'll start doing some jamming. And this is something that I think is really important. I want you to understand is that just practicing routine, rudimentary things every day, it's wonderful, very important to do. But another thing you really need to focus on is your creativity, your ability to be able to improvise or interact with the other musicians. And this is where I think the Spark amp really shines with the app that they have, is I can move over to the next thing here, move over right there, and what I've got here is all of these curated tracks from YouTube. So for instance, I might go to the first one here, it just says C, G, A minor, F, acoustic rock, whatever that is. So I click on that, right? Listen to it. Make sure the volume's okay for you. So now what I might do with this, for instance, is I could just jam along, but I'm looking at the chords here, C, G, A minor, and F, and I'm thinking, okay, well maybe what I'll do is I'll try and work on some melodic stuff where maybe I'm doing some double stops, where I'll play, for instance, some element of a C, G, and then some sort of A minor, and then here comes F. Right? So something like that, I might focus on that for my practice just to get started here. So again, I could just play scales and things, but maybe I'll think about that a little bit. Here comes that A minor. Get to G, so here comes that A minor, so maybe I'll move up here. Whatever it is. Now maybe I'll go into some licks. Whatever it might be. So I'll use these curated tracks that Spark gives me to practice different kinds of things. I might go into a blues thing, right? So backing tracks, tab songs, blues, right? So maybe I go into this one. Again, I don't know what this is, but we'll just give it a listen here. And you can see there's some chord charts on screen there. Whatever. So again, just practicing some miscellaneous stuff. I'll get warmed up with all of that kind of stuff. And, from there, I can kind of move on with my day. But those are the main things, is dialing in a tone, going to that metronome, which I showed you over here, okay? And then coming over here and doing some curated tracks. Now, if I don't want to do these, I can come up to the top here, and of course I can, where it says Smart Jam, I can click on maybe Rock. And now it shows me the outline of my song here, and it shows me my chords, right? So again, I might go, okay, so A minor, F, C, G. Okay, so I'm going to try and again focus on maybe not just playing in a scale per se, but trying to do something over A minor and then F and then C and then G and then E minor and then D minor, right? Whatever. And think about my practice a little bit from that angle as well. Now, if I don't want to do that, I can get out of here. Let me go back there and go to Create here and do this Let's Jam. So with this, for instance, loves rock and pop, loves loud and proud, or plays loud and proud, loves guitarists who play power chords. So let's jam. Okay, so now I could play along. Okay, and let's see what it comes up with. Whatever it might be. But there I am using the Smart Jam, which is just another great tool inside the Spark amp. So if you're interested, you can always go over to positivegrid.com and check out the Spark amp and see if it's something you might be interested in. So thanks to everybody over at Positive Grid. Thank you so much to you for watching, and hopefully this helps you better understand some of the practice tools that you have embedded right in the Spark amp with the app that's available. So take care, stay positive, and I'll talk to you soon.